Toglietevi la pestagna
Perché?
e dunque lasciate che...
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Taboo Movies. What would you do if, on your wedding night, you discovered that the person you had just married might actually be your half-sibling? That shocking premise lies at the heart of the 1974 Italian film Till Marriage Do Us Part. Originally titled Mio Dio, sono caduta in basso, directed by Luigi Comencini. From its opening moments, the film throws viewers into a situation that seems almost impossible to imagine. Yet what makes it remarkable is that Comencini never treats this premise as mere shock value. Instead, he transforms it into a sharp satirical comedy, using one of society's greatest taboos to explore difficult questions about morality, honor, religion, and marriage. Today, we'll take a closer look at the film's most controversial themes and explore why it continues to be discussed more than 50 years after its release. Our story takes place in Sicily, Italy, during the early years of the 20th century. The central character is Eugenia, portrayed by the legendary Italian actress Laura Antonelli. Eugenia is portrayed as pure, innocent, and deeply sheltered. Raised under the strict guidance of a convent, she knows little about romance or the natural emotions that shape adult relationships. Fate brings her together with Raimondo, a handsome, wealthy duke from an aristocratic family. They quickly fall in love, and their magnificent wedding appears to promise a perfect future. Eugenia believes she has finally found lasting happiness, but fate has other plans. On their wedding night, just as the newlyweds prepare to begin their life together, Raimondo receives a final letter from his late father abroad. The letter reveals a devastating possibility. Eugenia and Raimondo may actually share the same father, the result of a secret affair many years earlier. Suddenly, the couple faces an impossible dilemma. If the truth becomes public and the marriage is annulled, both noble families would be ruined, and they would face rejection from both the church and high society. To preserve their family's honor, they make an extraordinary decision. They will continue living together as husband and wife in public. Behind closed doors, however, they vow to remain completely apart, never consummating their marriage. At this point, the moral conflict becomes increasingly complex. First, there is the possibility of a forbidden family relationship. Second, there is the deception they must maintain before society. And finally, perhaps the greatest tragedy of all, a young woman is denied the opportunity to live a normal married life because of circumstances completely beyond her control. Comencini creates an almost unbelievable situation that invites laughter. But behind that laughter lies a painful question. How much is society willing to sacrifice simply to preserve appearances? When Raimondo leaves for war, the atmosphere inside the grand mansion becomes increasingly suffocating for Eugenia. She is left alone inside what feels like a beautiful cage, expected to embody the virtues celebrated in early 20th century Italian society: patience, obedience, and unquestioning fidelity. Then Silvano enters the story. He is the family's young coachman, strong, confident, and completely different from the aristocratic world Eugenia has always known. This is where the emotional tension of the film begins to intensify. Many people assume this is simply an erotic film. In reality, Luigi Comencini is doing something far more sophisticated. He isn't interested in sensationalism. Instead, he explores what happens when natural human emotions are suppressed by rigid social expectations. Notice how carefully he develops the relationship between Eugenia and Silvano. It begins with silent glances. As Eugenia watches Silvano working outdoors, she isn't simply looking at an attractive young man. For the first time, she begins to experience emotions she has never been allowed to acknowledge. Comencini focuses not on explicit imagery, but on facial expressions, subtle gestures, lingering eye contact, and growing emotional conflict. Their relationship also symbolizes liberation. When Eugenia finally embraces feelings she has spent her entire life suppressing, she is not merely choosing another man. She is challenging the social system that has denied her freedom, happiness, and personal choice. She is pushing back against rigid class divisions, an impossible marriage, and expectations placed upon women of her era. This is precisely why Laura Antonelli's performance remains so memorable. She portrays a woman whose choices may be morally complicated, yet whose emotional struggle feels deeply human. Rather than judging Eugenia, the film invites us to understand her loneliness, her frustration, and her longing for an authentic life. Her decisions are presented not as simple acts of rebellion, but as the consequences of an impossible situation. That emotional complexity is what elevates the film beyond its controversial premise. Another reason Till Marriage Do Us Part stands apart from many films built around taboo subjects is its conclusion. When Raimondo eventually returns from war, wounded and vulnerable, the balance between the characters changes completely. The once distant husband now depends on the very woman he had been unable to truly share a life with. Rather than delivering easy moral judgments, Comencini leaves the audience with uncertainty. He neither condemns nor excuses the characters. Instead, he simply exposes the contradictions of the society surrounding them. The ending offers no clear winners and no clear villains, only flawed human beings trapped inside impossible circumstances. No review of this film would be complete without recognizing Laura Antonelli's extraordinary performance. During the 1970s, she was regarded as one of European cinema's greatest screen icons. Yet this film demonstrates that her talent extended far beyond her remarkable beauty. Her transformation from an innocent young bride into a confident, emotionally awakened woman unfolds naturally through subtle expressions, body language, and quiet moments, rather than dramatic speeches. She turns Eugenia into a character who is sympathetic, relatable, and ultimately unforgettable. Alberto Leonello also delivers an outstanding performance as Raimondo. He convincingly portrays a man torn between family duty, personal responsibility, and his own humanity. Together, the two actors create a delicate balance of humor, sadness, and emotional tension that gives the film much of its enduring charm. Visually, the film makes wonderful use of historic Sicily. Its warm color palette, elegant costumes, and carefully composed cinematography celebrate both the beauty of the landscape and the refinement of the period. Even after more than 50 years, the film retains a timeless visual elegance that separates it from more conventional commercial productions. If you're a mature viewer who appreciates the difference between artistic exploration and endorsement of controversial ideas, Till Marriage Do Us Part is a fascinating film well worth discovering. So, what do you think? How would you have handled the impossible situation faced by Eugenia and Raimondo? Do you sympathize with Eugenia's choices? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more discussions about the most fascinating taboo films in cinema history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.